Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Davidson Hand Reflections podcast. Thank you, Gina Hansen, who I met through the Summit of Greatness in Columbus, Ohio's conference last year in person. She asked me to share some networking tips because that's something that a lot of people think I do well, which I agree. I do think I put a lot of effort into building relationships and cultivating them. So, for me, I do make it a priority to stay in touch with friends and family and people I've met throughout my years. So, I'm going to share with you the top 10 tips, what I've learned from building and cultivating relationships, and would love any feedback, or if you have anything to add, would love to hear your tips for that as well. So, number one, figure out who you want to surround yourself with, and definitely notice like who lights you up, or who are people who light up the room when they enter it. Right? I think having intention and knowing like you should double down on those relationships is important. For example, when I meet with Ryan Johnson, Emily Linder, or Zack Mulhall, I instantly know that my energy levels increase, and that's good to know because you're more likely to have like bi-weekly check-ins and coffee chats and conversations to support each other. So that's really important that you set aside time to really cultivate these relationships, and especially in these times of the virtual, and sometimes you feel disconnected. So you really want to make the time to be able to do that. Number two, intentionally block off time to dedicate to coffee chats. I try to block off at least an hour every week dedicated to building relationships, whether it's with a teammate or someone who I want to keep in touch with. For instance, this week, I caught up with Cayman, and then had time to meet with Zach Mulhall, for instance, and Ryan, and I have a lot of bi-weekly conversations with some of the relationships I like to keep in touch with. So make sure you dedicate time to that. And then number three, don't be afraid to be proactive by putting time on people's calendars. Obviously, depends on the nature of your relationship, right? But just take initiative and be the one to actually send out the calendar invites. You want to eliminate any friction and any back and forth. It's easier if you just go ahead and do it. I think too often we're afraid of, oh, are they gonna not I think people overthink it, and it's easier just to put time on their calendar. And then if they say no, they'll propose it with another time that works. Number four, just having conversations that don't always have to be productive. Some of my most connected conversations are coffee chats where we were just literally just trying to get to know each other better. There's no intention, no really strong agenda. I think obviously, you know, it, some people are busier than others, right? But I think initially, if it's your first conversation, like you want to get to know each other and you want to know, what makes each other tick. So you want to just take some time to build that rapport and find common ground. Um, Number five is to write handwritten cards, getting birthday cards in the mail, and even like a thoughtful voicemail or voice message. I tend to send a lot of my voice message through the LinkedIn has a functionality where you can record voice messages, and then on Facebook Messenger you can record. So there's plenty of ways you can deliver your message, but a simple birthday card could definitely make someone's day, and it's not too time consuming too. It takes like 30 seconds. Number six, manage your energy. If you're burnt out and you're too tired, and if you label yourself an introvert, obviously, like it doesn't have to be a gradual change. Like you don't have to jump off the deep end, and you can just add one more coffee chat per week if that's your cup of tea. Number seven, update your mentors and let them know what's going on. People love it when you're implementing the feedback that you're getting from them, and that's the whole reason why people become managers and become directors and executives, because they want to be able to impact and help individual contributors get promoted and progress their careers. So don't be afraid to do that. I think that's something that a lot of people tend to forget as they become too busy and there's other things going on. Number 8, just having fun. I think some people relate to networking as like dreadful. And yes, everyone is different, but meeting new people is fun. And sometimes if you do have that negative, you need to reframe it to be able to just learn something new and hear a different person's perspective. Like everyone has value, and even if you don't necessarily agree with them, I often find that the relationships or the conversations I've learned the most are the people that have had like a very different way of thinking than I normally hang out with. And it's helped me, for instance, be able to have different perspectives. Like going to the Afro Tech conference this past week has really helped me see solidarity and common ground amongst like what a lot of minorities are going through and relating it to the Asian American experience. So number 9 is have relationship goals. It's like, so it could be something little, like just think of one thing that you could do to brighten one person's day every day. So it's, whether it's sending them a quick gratitude video about how they've made a difference in your career, the more of these types of conversations you have, the more purpose and more drive and motivation you get. Actually, it's all these dopamine hits can help you have manage your energy and be able to be more positive in the long run. And number 10, make it a game. So I know at networking events, I'll have an intention and a goal going into it. For instance, I'll say, okay, going into this coffee chat, I want to meet at least 3 different people and build a stronger relationship with them over the course of the hour. And make sure you do something to push yourself outside your comfort zone. I know the time where I was the most uncomfortable at like certain networking events where I felt like I was out of my element. I've grown a lot because of it. So I hope you enjoyed these tips for building relationships and networking one on one. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and cheers.